Whew, so, there sure are an awful lot of angry men on the internet these days. My goodness, I have never seen such a bunch of triggered, emotional boys out there. Wow. I mean, y'all need some therapy and learn to deal with your feels, guys. I mean, granted, I live most of my life online at this point because I'm still waiting for a wheelchair so I can get my butt outside. But wow, especially well, I visit a lot of feminine spaces, obviously, because I am a feminist. And wait, I'm waiting. Hold on, what was that you say? Oh, I'm expired because I'm over 30. Oh, and I'm gonna die alone with cats and no man and no children. Oh, wait. Also, I'm ugly and used up and expired and tattoos are gross and I'm probably a man or a dyke anyway. Did I miss anything? Yeah, I've heard it all before. So, you guys are boring. You all read from the exact same playbook, and the more emotional you get, the more redundant you get because you can't think of anything original to say. So, I really don't care. And you all know who I'm talking to. The rest of you are just lovely people, honestly. Fortunately, more of the men who are allies to reason and feminine spaces and viewing women as people are starting to speak up, thank goodness. But there's still an awful lot of you out there. I mean, wow. Y'all can say some really, really nasty things too. Especially if you have something like a leg to stand on, like if it's a disabled woman, ooh, apparently we're whores if we dare to express ourselves as women and not just cute little dolls who have no sexuality whatsoever. Yeah, sorry, it's not how the world works. My little red-pilled friend. I wore red in your honor today, as a matter of fact. See, and red lipstick too, because I'm a whore of Babylon. Anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of you out there. It's ugly out there, but there's also, I've been making a point of following people on Instagram, men on Instagram who are definitely allies and not scared little boys who are terrified of women who are not, don't need you. We don't need you. Sorry. Yeah, it's kind of pathetic how the terror of not being needed financially, and yet at the same time, you all call us gold diggers. Goodness, I'm so glad I'm not a young woman in this day and age. I would just be appalled completely. I've had my child. I've been married, decided I didn't like it. You get tired of, being in an abusive relationship. It's your fault because you chose the guy. And yet at the same time, they present themselves as completely normal to, draw you in. And yet it's your fault when they do. And, the whole thing, all of it. I'm tired of the whole game. I have no interest in participating anymore. I decided that no longer would I date cishet men. If I'm going to date a man, he's going to have to be a trans man. I'm not even kidding. I don't trust the rest of y'all. You're far too messed up in the head. And a lot of my generation of men, Generation X men, are really twisted around in the brain for many reasons, I'm sure. But I don't want to get into all that now. But however, a lot of us are just done with you. And I know a lot of you don't like it. And the ones who reply things like, not all men, are the ones who are the problem. You are part of the problem, not the solution. It's the ones who truly do like women and who are allies will be like, yeah, we get it. Because they know that they're not the ones I'm talking to. They know. So, but man, because I've been on Instagram today. My adopted dad is been getting his hospital bed moved into his room today. And so I've been in my room with the cats just to have them out of the way, and I've been just doing my usual online thing, and been trying to. I need to take a pain pill, actually. It's been quite a while. It's really, really hot, and I'm uncomfortable, and oh yeah, right, I forgot, angry feminist. Yeah, I've been kind of getting riled up, which I do, that's my personality, because anger is an energy, and I've got my energy flowing today. That's how change happens. I mean, the world is crazy right now, it is crazy, and that's one of the reasons that's one of the things that are fucked up, is this whole patriarchal society that we live in, where it allows for things like people getting kidnapped in their homes and all this fear, all this male fear. It is just sick. And then there's all this internalized misogyny going on for the female Trump supporters. These women who are like supporting all this fear. Like, sweetheart, those Mexicans that you want out of here, they watch your children for cheap and keep your lawn pretty. So, what are you going to do now? Good Lord. I don't know. Gotta take a pain pill. 1.5, actually. It is one of those days. So, my last post was a long, rambling one, because I had I forgot what I had done. Oh yeah, I had waited way too long to take a pain pill, and I was like on loopy mode. I'm trying to, same thing today, but I'm just like riled up and hot and far too focused to be loopy. But ooh, yeah, the intense heat is not helping. Although it'd be worse if I was cold. The cold is way worse on my joints and everything. Now I'm just kind of uncomfortable and hot and in pain. But there's just a lot going on here that is sad. With my adopted dad, with his health being the way it is, but it was really nice. He had a visitor today. The person I was hoping would come visit him, I was just thinking a lot about him too. I was like, I really hope his friend Greg comes and visits, because he's one of the friends that I really, really enjoy. Just a really nice man. He's really smart as a whip and pleasant to be around. Like some of the old geezers, Joe calls them. Some of them can be a little intolerable, but I like Greg a lot. And so he came to visit him today, and so even though I wasn't able to visit with him, I had to go lay down. It was nice to have him in the house, and nice for Joe to have a visitor. It's a good thing. And I was thinking about that, with Joe's declining health and everything, and Joe's always had like so many friends around him his whole life. He was always the center of the hub of all the social hub of this neighborhood. His nickname was the paterfamilias of, I'm not going to name the area that we're in, of blank park that we're in Chicago. He had all the parties, like the Halloween party and the Christmas party, and the Halloween party was always the best. We held in common our favorite holiday being Halloween. It was the same for my son too. And just everyone came to Joe for, like, if they needed a place to stay, or they needed, something, a connection of some kind, or, and he had he could be a kind of a goofy guy, but, and everyone's got their issues, but he was kind of the place to come to, and, I had so many friends, and now we're at the end of things, and it's kind of, I'm taken aback at how few people have bothered to come see him, and the same kind of goes for me. I'm at this stage now where I'm obviously a lot younger, but I've got a serious illness, and I'm at this point now where I've been suggested by medical professionals that I like palliative care isn't necessarily only for end of life, but it's like, it's for when you have an illness that's serious enough where all you can do about it is try to make your life as comfortable as possible, because I could go at any minute because of what I have wrong with me. I have cell growth in my carotid artery, like several of them through my carotid arteries, that could lead to a stroke at any time. And I've got a vascular Ehlers Danlos, which is, women tend to die by the time they are, it's anywhere between like 49 and 52 or something like that. And I'm now 55, and so, it's just one of those things where it could happen at any time, and I'm quite sick. I spend most of my time in bed, and I'm not trying to like be like, oh, woe is me, but people don't really bother to come around. I've reached out to people, and I'm not going to be continuing to like poke people and be like, hey, I'm still here. I mean, you get sick of doing that, and it's like, when I let people know that we thought it was a cancer scare, like some people just didn't even bother to get back to me, and it's like, I'm not going to keep pressing, like, hey, I'm alive, come visit me, or come ask how I am, at least, I'm not going to do that, so it's amazing how when you get really ill, how so many people just tend to disappear from your life. The same happened when my son died. Like, a lot of people just disappeared, and now it's happening again, and it's like, I mean, not to sound morbid, but like, you really are, some people towards the end of their lives, it's like, you have very few people around towards the end sometimes. Even people that like you wouldn't expect. And did you know that a lot of, like, when women, if they're married, when they become very, very ill, I think the percentage of women whose husbands leave is really high up there. I'll have to check the statistics, but it's way more than 50%. So way more than half of women, you will lose your spouse if you become seriously ill, like with cancer or something like that. So, doesn't matter if you're married or not. It's an isolating thing. And, it's just weird. I mean, I've always been one who has been comfortable with my own company, and I'm good being alone, like a majority of the time, but it's just kind of weird how people are so afraid, or like maybe they just didn't care that much to begin with, but which is fine, it makes you reassess the sort of people that you let into your life. And so that's one of the reasons I really want, I really need this wheelchair to be approved for me, because I need to be able to get out and meet better people, I guess, or more people that are disabled like me, so I can, develop some new friendships for the last part of my life. I mean, I want this last stage to be the best stage. I mean, the best part was, my son being alive, but that part is gone, and this is going to be, and I have to like let that part go. That is in the past, and so I want this last part to be the best part now that I can look forward to, and that's going to require, being able to get out of my house, and that means being mobile, so it's just something I'm going to need to make happen, and it's just such a slow process, and assuming my disability gets approved, because Medicaid can be really weird about approving things like wheelchairs. It's just like this weird, slow, tooth-pulling process, and I think I mentioned in my other videos that like the kind of wheelchair I need is very specific. It has to be motorized for one thing, and it needs a headrest, because I've got like any sudden movement or any sudden motion of my neck can result in a stroke. Like, I have to be very, very careful about like whiplashy kind of motions, so I need a headrest, and it needs to be able to recline, and all this other stuff. So before I can do anything in terms of getting out of the house, like in any real way, any meaningful way, I need to like get that sorted out. And this is all kinds of stuff. And so maybe if my disability comes through and the insurance won't pay for it, maybe I can use some of the extra money towards getting a wheelchair. I mean, it's like, I need one. I desperately need one, you know? So, I don't know. I've just been kind of like in a down mood at just how like there's so much negative shit going on in like the world and then like in my little world, and it's easy. It would be really, really easy to be just completely like, fuck it, you know? But as I always say, I keep going out of spite, if nothing else, you know, which is what I'm doing right now. So, I don't know. This is a short one today, but that is really all I have to say. It's just, or maybe not, you know how I am. I say that and then I rattle on for 15 more minutes, but I always had this vision that, you know, when I got older, I probably would be relatively alone, you know. It just seemed that would be logical considering like the trajectory my life has taken. But on some level, I thought that maybe I would be like around, like have like at least a small group of friends that would be, you know, here around. But you never take into consideration how people react to things like, you know, serious chronic illness and disability, you know. And that so many people just don't want to deal with like how inconvenient it is to them, you know, to their lives. And then like so many years of people thinking I was just, you know, because they couldn't find a diagnosis, that I was just like full of shit. And so maybe some people still think I'm full of shit, and, you know, but I'm not about to like show them my medical records and show them, here's proof, here's a diagnosis in black and white, like, because they don't deserve that, you know. And those are not people I want in my life anyway. So it makes me think like, God, I have like shit taste in friends, you know. I know I have shit taste in romantic relationships, that's for sure. But then it like makes me think about how, you know, the being raised in a shitty, abusive environment, like it kind of warps your radar for people, you know. So, and that clearly never got completely fixed. So some of the people I chose to let into my life were certainly not the best. So, and that's something I've been thinking a lot about too. And it's certainly, obviously that's why I have personality disorder. But I've been working a lot on that, and which has not been comfortable work, but, you know, we are social creatures at the end of the day, and so it's something that, like, yeah, I do want to have at least a couple people who are going to stick around whenever things do, you know, finally, whenever my brain does short fire or my heart gives out or whatever happens first, you know, I'd like to have some people. Yes, I know, little kitty. Are you hot? I'll put the AC back on as soon as I'm done. I know, Esmeralda. She escaped out the back the other day, and now she's just, all she wants to do is go out again. Little stinker. But yeah, I don't know. I know I shouldn't bitch and complain. There's people who have got less going on, but no, it's bullshit. I can totally complain. It's painful either way. So, and like I'm always saying, it's not the pain or disability Olympics. It's just pain is pain, right? So, so like having the combination of like the physical pain that's going on right now, and then like the mental pain of everything, and realizing that there's some emotional pain going on too. It's just like I'm having a day, and plus it's like all cloudy out. Oh no, it's not cloudy, it's night. Jesus, I forgot it's like nighttime now. It's like 8 o'clock at night or something like that. So my perception of time is so off. I'm like mostly a night owl now. Now that, since I had to stop work and lost my job because of my condition finally catching up with me, my natural circadian rhythm finally fell back into play, and now I'm like almost completely a night owl, and I'm still adjusting to that. Like, oh, that's right, you woke up at like 2 or 3. So my day's just getting started, really. I think today I woke up at, I was up and down during the day, but I finally am just up now, and it's like I got up like an hour ago maybe. So anyway, but oh man, I get into these modes. I am diagnosed with bipolar, meaning more on the depressive side. Like, I get hypomania, and I've got schizoaffective disorder, which is something I don't really often talk about because I've been so concentrated on the physical side of things. But my schizoaffective disorder is fairly well controlled with medication, although it's been coming on a little bit stronger these days. It's most likely because of all the stress of everything. And the depression, it just, sometimes it's really bad, and then sometimes it's okay, but it's always there. And of course it gets worse because of the health issues and losing my son, and he's been dead since 2010. So, and that's, people think that grief is this linear thing, and it's not. It's this completely tangled skein that goes back and forth and up and down, and sometimes 15 years feels like 15 days. Sometimes it feels like a lifetime, But yeah, then the anniversary of his death was just last month, so I'm still kind of in that mode. And you expect that your child is gonna, you don't expect it to outlive your child, and so there's that. It would have been, I wish he had been here, I wish he was here now. Although I wouldn't want to put him through my dying young, So there's that to think about. I would not. He loved me so much. We were so close that as much as it devastated me, I think it would, I can't imagine the pain it would have put him through to have to watch me die. So there, in a way, it's like, I'm glad he wouldn't have to watch that, but at the same time, I really wish he could be here for me and with me. But I feel him. I've been feeling his presence a lot lately. You can think I'm crazy for saying that or not, but I do feel him around, watching over me or whatever. It feels like that, though. I don't know. It's on that level. I'm not afraid of death because I do believe that I'm going to see him. Him and my cat Fritz. Oh God, and my first love, Eric. He's there. I have some apologizing to do to him because I was afraid and I ran. But I see more people on the other side than there are here for me at this point. So, I'm ready. But at the same time, I'm here, and despite there not being a lot of people here with me, despite there not being a lot of friends in the real world. I really like the people that I've met online. There's a couple of people I really enjoy, like a couple of people in my cluster B groups that I really enjoy, and my film groups. This one film group that I helped to admin. There's some people that I really enjoy. But I have more people on the other side than I do here. But I still love being alive, despite like the huge amount of physical pain and all the loss I've experienced. I really didn't think I would survive losing my son, but I did. I I didn't think I'd survive all the shit that I went through as a kid, but I did. I didn't think I would survive well, let's just say there's a lot of stuff I didn't think I'd survive, but I did. And so, now that my health is what it is, this is the one thing I won't survive. But I am still here. Hi, Missy. It's just, people can be awfully shitty. But I do think it's the, those of us who are like the more marginalized, the ones who are seen as broken and fucked up, and the ones who people see as being the fucked up ones, the broken ones. We're the ones who are the better people, ultimately, I think. Most of us, anyway. There's some of us who are just like bitter and shitty, but, a lot of us have become better people because of what we've gone through. We don't dwell on the petty shit or judge as quickly. I'm still an obnoxious bitch, but that's because I have to be. Alright, well, now I'm just being depressing and staring off in disgrace. I'm like getting that 1,000-yard stare, so I think I'm gonna let this go, and I will be back. I need to lay down now. I've been sitting for too long. And, but yeah, outfit of the day. I managed to get dressed. These are high-waisted 1950s pedal pushers, as you can see, and a bodysuit to go with it, and my current favorite headscarf and red lipstick to go with it. So this is what I do. I play dress up in my own house because I'm not going anywhere. But were I going somewhere, I would probably be wearing like some super high-heeled 50s pumps to go with these, which I do own. I know just the ones I wear, they're alligator prints. They've got like an alligator print on them with like a strap, and like a T-strap, and they're like 4-inch heels. They're hot. They're like they got the 50s kind of like a thicker heel, That's what I would wear if I were in my wheelchair. I will be getting at some point in the near future. So yeah. So fashion makes me happy, and makeup makes me happy. And that was the big thing I accomplished today, was putting some clothes on, putting some makeup on, making this video. So yeah, let's end this on a happy note. I'm having a good fashion day. In a little pin-up pose. And I feel pretty. It's nice to feel pretty. So, and yeah. Maybe tomorrow, if I feel up to it, I will put on, I have this polka dot 50s dress. Maybe I'll put that on. As you guys can see, I do like 50s style. I'm like a 50s punk, if that's a thing. Rockabilly. Like the Cramps. I'm like a female version, a female embodiment of the band The Cramps. If you know who they are. If you don't, go listen to the Cramps, because they're rad. Yeah. I guess I could tell you what lipstick I use. I use Tom Ford Ruby Rush, and I used Wet n Wild liquid eyeliner, the one that's waterproof, and I can sleep in this. Usually by the next morning it will still be there. And Maybelline, it's in a red tube. It's like false lash mascara, and I can't remember the name of it, I'm sorry, but it's red. It's a red tube. And I don't wear foundation. I think it ages your skin, and at my age you have to do what you can to not age your skin. and I'm not wearing blush. I don't like to wear anything on my face. Like, occasionally I will wear blush if I'm looking extra especially dead, but I don't do the foundation thing. I'll wear sunscreen if I'm going out. So that's it. That's pretty much my repertoire. I don't even wear eyeshadow anymore. Like, I can't, my eyes are sunken, so it looks like, it always looks like I'm wearing eyeshadow, but it's just the way my eyes are built. It looks like I'm wearing a cut crease, but it's just the bones, my ocular socket. So that's it. See, I'm still talking. I was gonna be like, this is like, maybe this is my like bipolar post. I was all like doom and gloom, and now I'm getting happier talking about fashion. See, this is why we do it, guys. This is why so many of us like to end up, we get dressed and put on makeup and stuff, even though we're completely sick and we're disabled and we can't leave the house, and we still do things like put on makeup and dress nice because it makes us feel better about ourselves and about our lives and our situations, because everything else can be really, really depressing. But then look down, I've got like this really pretty red on my legs and a cool headband and pretty lipstick, which, oh, it's hot, that's why, hold on. So, this should not be so light already. Cherry Lush, I was wrong, it's Cherry Lush, so. It's so hot. Oh, the reason it came off is because I put lip gloss on first. You shouldn't do that. Had I not put on gloss first, it would have stayed, but I did. And then I changed my mind. I decided I want to put this on. And that messed everything up, so that's the way it's supposed to look. To match. Ow, ow, ow. I gotta stop doing that Ehlers Danlos thing and leaning back on my hands and pushing them out of joint. Anyhow, so yeah. This is what I did to cheer myself up today, is put on makeup, put on a cute outfit. That was it. Max has been, Joe is sleeping, and Max, who's been taking care of him 24/7, thank goodness, has been taking like an hour out of the day to go do, I don't ask him what he does, that's not my business, but just to get out of the house for an hour. And I'm like, go with God, boy, because you are just on it 24/7 with your dad. So Joe's room is right next to mine. I'm listening. He's got his radio on because he just likes to have it on for the noise. So while Max is out, I'm making this little video. And now that I've talked to myself, to you guys, whoever's listening, I don't have much of a following anymore now that I'm not posting just about corsets on Instagram. I used to have like, for every video I'd have like a couple hundred likes or so, and now it's like 5 or 6 because I'm not posting myself in a corset anymore, but that's fine. You know, I'm sure eventually I'll slowly build a following, and but this just makes me feel better. That's another reason I do this, is not to get, like, I was getting bored with like having 200 people liking my post because I was in a corset, and I was posting them for, you know, Ehlers Danlos corsets, but it was like, I knew it wasn't because that's why I was getting likes. I was getting likes because it was a girl in a corset, you know. And it's like, didn't really have, it didn't have any meaning for me anymore. So now we're doing this. What was I saying? Oh yeah, doing this helps me feel better, you know, like, just, I don't really have anyone to talk to about all this. Like, you can just feel like even when you're talking to like someone online, sometimes you can feel like their eyes glazing over if you try to like talk about how you're feeling for too long. And so this, I can just ramble on, and if you want to listen to it, you can. If you don't, then don't. But like, I could feel myself, like the kind of weight lifting off the shoulders and feeling less shitty. And I should really be wearing my braces for my my neck and back and on my hands, but God, it was just so hot. When I put the air conditioning back on, I'll probably put them on again, but yeah, I think it's just a matter of like lancing a boil, you know. Once you talk about it, it's like you've lanced the boil and you feel like less horrible about everything, you know. Just like all the isolation and the frustration and the feeling of like this is like low-level sense of like people have, I don't know, betrayal is kind of a heavy word, but this sense of just like, because that's an active word. It's not like I'm being actively betrayed. It's more like I've just been forgotten, you know. And nobody likes to feel that they've been forgotten by the people that you've known for like since you were in your 20s, you know. It's like Jesus. But I don't know. So yeah, we do what we can to like keep ourselves sane and happy, and you know, be content with just what we've got. But at the same time, it's like we're allowed to feel shitty about it, you know. Like I've always been. Like one of the things that when I was in relationships, oftentimes people would say like, you know, you just don't seem to like be that invested or like to care, or you know. Unless I knew someone was like doing something shady, then I'd be on them, like I don't know. But those days are like long gone. Like the last time I was in a real relationship, it's been years. But yeah, I've always been secure by myself. But that doesn't mean I don't want to have like any human connection, you know. That's a different thing. You know, when you have ASPD, like being alone and not having close connections is kind of like comes with the territory. But as also you get older and you've been going to therapy and you've been working on yourself for a long time, you learn to value people more, and you learn to value you learn to heal from all that childhood trauma that brought it about to begin with, which is what I've been working on for a long time. And now it's like I've finally gotten healed to a point where I value people more and value connections more, and now I'm like, okay, but now I'm alone, you know. Which if I weren't disabled and sick, I wouldn't be. Oh, the irony. So I'm supposed to be the fucked up one, right? Yeah. Anyway. But I do have a whole bunch of nice clothes, like cool, like rockabilly and other kind of just dresses and things that I haven't worn in a long time, that I feel like I can just wear them for videos. Why not? Until I'm able to go outside again. But again, these are all really old. Like I haven't worn any of these things in so long, but I think once I have a little bit of money again, I probably need to invest in some new clothes. I mean, I haven't worn these in a long time. If they're old, I haven't worn them forever, so it'll be nice just to like, I don't know, just to do some shopping. Not to get anything crazy, but just to have some new clothes would be nice. That's because some things are like, I think I got rid of the things that were, because I gained some weight with a med that I was on at one point, and then I lost it all again. But like at that point, I did have to buy some new clothes. It was just like for a year or so, and now I'm back to like my normal weight again. So, but I think it just makes me feel good. It would make me feel good to just do some shopping, get some new clothing, and maybe some new makeup, because a lot of my shit is really old too. Just to do something to treat myself. which has been years since I've been able to do that. Shopping therapy. I'd love to go to the alley and get some stuff because I've been seeing their ads. I think their ads have been working on me. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Max is back. Mwah.